Heard it.
It's a love song. It's an ode to the two of you.
It's like the quiet storm.
Okay, so please continue. It just got really low.
It's on. I can't hear anything.
Yeah, because we're not talking. We're waiting for you to talk. Stop the music.
All right, Monty, now it's your turn to talk.
That's weird on my phone. In and out.
Everything was working like a second ago, and you sound great to us. Could you check the mic level on the phone?
No, it's just my phone that's weird. That's all.
Okay. So continue. By all means, continue. Sit back, relax. You don't have to listen to us because we won't talk. We'll listen to you.
Oh, I got the music's back. I'm not trying to. Oh God. Bothering me so badly. I don't like this.
Caller, you're on the air.
Are you sure you've never drank anything or smoked anything in your life?
The reason I was saying that it was my bit was because you guys were, and this is another thing, it went on the message board, which, like, that's what made me so mad. Like, Veal Chop wants to say that you guys pulled my card, and everyone was making it like you guys caught me. Like, I was trying to, like, you know, figure out a way to win. You know, all of a sudden I'm changing the bet. But how am I changing the bet? If anyone has ever known me, if you listened to the show last year where I put in probably about 20 bets, probably about 13 of those picks were over-unders. So I don't know why that surprised anyone. Like, all of a sudden, I'm doing over-unders. Like, what is this? If you ask anyone who has ever heard me do any picks over the past 2 years, they know that's what I do. So it's not like it's a surprise. And, like, all of a sudden, you guys caught me. Now I was figuring out a way to get around doing picks or losing.
It's not a matter of that. So mad. It's not a matter of catching your. The fact of the matter is, over and unders are just as difficult, if not more difficult. It's just they're not. It's not radio friendly. That's all it was. And we want to do something more radio friendly. To be quite honest, even listening back to it, even against the spread isn't so much radio friendly. And you even pointed that out. It probably would have been better to go just head to head, picking the winner of the game. Probably would have been the better way to do it.
Exactly. So what's the difference? That's what I don't understand.
It's not a good bit. It's not. It doesn't. I don't think it works as well for the radio. That's all. That's all. I want to try.
But I feel like you were the only one who didn't think it was a good bit. You were the only one.
Do you think? If you listen back to the show. Listen to the groans that it elicits. Look on the board. Our buddy Vito, God love him, is in the room with us. He had no clue what an over/under bet is, and he's a sports fan. People don't know what over/under is. It's not as easy as saying, "Hey, who won that game?" Granted, it's addition. And people could do math and figure, and do a simple addition and subtraction to figure out what the over/under is and how the things worked out. But I just think it would have been nicer and easier to do a pick. Hey, this team versus this team.
Vanessa in the chat room says, "Monty, we all think it's not a good bit."
Okay, then I guess if we would have had one pick a week, then it would have been a great bit. Is that it, or was the whole bit in general not good? Then maybe that's it.
I don't think that the whole bit in general is not that good. It was an easier bit. It was an easier bit, and I thought it was a better bit that way.
Yeah, but you know what? Here's the thing: you could have went with it, and it would have worked. Like that's what it is. See, I had this idea. I have no reason to do this. Like, this doesn't do anything for me. Like, it's such a lose-lose situation for me. Like, if I go 17-0 during the year, what do you guys? None of you guys are going to turn around and say he's such a good handicapper. No, you got to say, oh, maybe he could pick good. But if I lose, then I got to go on the radio and get drunk, which is something I don't want to do. But the only reason why I did it was because I thought it would be good for this radio show. It's really the only reason I did it. And another reason why I got so mad is because it's only that I feel like call up. I like to contribute to the show. Like, I like to feel like I'm somewhat part of the show. And then I call up with something that, like, I've been thinking about and, like, asking other people about. You think this will be a good bit? Like, what's going to make it work? And then I call in and I feel like I get treated like a jerk. Like, everyone has to be such, like, Like, I come off like such an ass. And that's what I'm, like, the most mad about. Like, why was I doing this? Well, for any other reason, why did I do this? Like, for me? No.
It's look. It sounded like an exciting bit. I think when you started talking about it and started clicking about what was going on, all of our eyes lit up at just the concept of following this through the whole season, and then at the end, perhaps actually dragging you in here and forcing alcohol down your throat. It was a great idea. We had already invested half of our idea in getting Zombie on here to make a specific pick. So to try to fit, we were trying to fit, I guess, your bit into the bit that we already had established, and it just didn't work well. I speak for the show, we'd love for you to do this, but we needed to fit the existing template.
I really think the only person it didn't fit with was Chris. I mean, maybe people didn't like it initially, but you hear that Keith wanted to let it go. Gravy wanted to let it go. Brian, I mean, doesn't really know about
did you listen?
So much that he would have let it go.
Did you listen to the show last week? Did you listen back to it? And you listened to the groans. And listen to the groans. It's not even me that's groaning. It's everyone else in the room that goes, "Oh," before I said a word.
I think Freddie boos.
It wasn't just me, but and on the board specifically, Vanessa pointing it out on the board that's not what I'm looking to do. And I understand you think that that's because somehow now I've influenced it because I've complained about it on the air. I mean, I don't know.
If you were into it, then it would have worked. If you would have said, "Okay, I'll go with it," it would have worked, and no one would have cared. You think that if you said, "Yes, let's go with it. This is a good bit," that Vanessa's going to go on the message board and say, "This is a terrible thing over and under." No.
I would. Well, I think Vanessa specifically probably would have a problem with it no matter what. But that's just I think because we're doing a sports bet, I think she would have a problem with it. But I guess I see your point that if I would have gotten gung ho behind it, maybe people would have won. I didn't feel gung ho about it. And
that's not entirely true. You were gung ho when you thought it was one thing.
Absolutely, I wasn't gung ho about it being over unders. Right. I like the idea of it just being a simple pick a team and it's done thing.
Why don't you just change the terms of the bet instead of drinking? Get a tattoo that says, I don't know, zombie football on your neck.
But in all honesty, I got no problem with even changing the terms of the bet even. And that's the other thing. The main reason why it's a huge deal to you is because you're risking your sobriety, which you've, worked 30... How old are you? I don't even know how old are you. 31, 32, 30?
31.
Okay. In 31 years, you've never drank, and I can totally understand that. But I didn't ask you to introduce that. I was looking to do a bit where it was just like, hey, the guy who knows sports against the kid who doesn't know sports. That was the bit that I thought was the bit.
But I don't think that's a good bit. I mean, who cares about that except me and you?
The entire show. That was our before you even placed the call in. That was the concept that we were going for. We're like, hey, let's put Zombie up against any one of our callers who thinks that they're knowledgeable in sports and see how it goes.
And then, which is okay. That's why I thought this would be better, like a better payoff. I didn't think there was such a big payoff in the other one.
There wasn't going to be a payoff. That's the other thing. There's not going to be a payoff. There's not going to be a payoff no matter what. Because the fact of the matter is the kid that you're picking against isn't going to know games. He got lucky last week and picked one game right.
Are you really serious about that?
100%. I mean, we'll find out later on today when he calls in with his pick of the week, the Schlage lock of the week, featuring Zombie later on here on Best in Show. But I mean, it's I legitimately don't think that it was even it would have been a competition. I think the idea that it was something hanging over it added a little flair to it, but I don't believe that there was honestly really going to be a decent competition about it. The fact that this extra thing was there to it may have made it seem like, holy crap, but there's so much riding on it. The fact of the matter is, I can't imagine that you would pick worse than this kid, picking against the spread, picking just teams, or picking over and under. Any of the three ways, I don't think it'd be a problem. You want to pick all three?
All right.
And by the way, just win or losses should be, I mean, statistically speaking, I suppose you're right, it's 50-50 any way you play it. But anyone who has any knowledge of the... I think Veal Chop brought this up in the chat room, that it's going to be easiest from your standpoint to pick a winner from any one of the games that are being played.
But
that's really not true, because if
that's the whole point of a spread.
Knowledge,
yeah, but you're not picking against... You're not picking